What's up YouTube, Jeff back again, and today I'm here with a video on the iPhone 13 Pro. Yes, I know some of you guys are going to be a little bit disappointed that I'm making an iPhone video, but I think it's always nice to see what the competition is doing. You guys know that I'm an Android guy, but it's always fun to check out what Apple's doing and kind of see what's going on there. So today I'm going to make an iPhone video, but a little bit of Android flavor to it. I'm going to talk about all the things on the iPhone 13 Pro that's still missing from my Android experience. So the things I get on Android that I don't quite get when I go back to iOS. If anybody's wondering, this is the blue model. It's a very light blue. It's very understated compared to the blue last year. So it's kind of hard maybe to pick it up on camera. It almost looks silver actually on camera more than blue. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that I really do not like about iOS that I get on Android but not on iOS is, first of all, notifications. This is just a really obvious one. iOS does a really bad job with notifications. On Android, you can tap and scroll through your notifications, interact with them, expand them really conveniently. And perhaps the biggest thing for me, you'll notice I have a Gmail notifications right here. I just sent myself a test notification. If I open my phone using Face ID, and then I go back to the lock screen, the notification is gone. That is by far the thing that upsets me the most about iOS notifications. I don't know why that happens. That really shouldn't happen by default. That shouldn't be the default action. If I don't swipe the notification away, maybe I want to look at it later. I mean, of course, I know you can swipe down and it's still going to be in my notification center. But I personally like having them on the lock screen so I can come back later and triage them, right? You notice if I open my Galaxy Z Fold 3, my notifications, one, are still up at the very top there. And then if I go back to my lock screen, you'll notice my notifications are still there. I can swipe through them, triage, do whatever I want with these, but not on the iPhone. So notifications need a lot of things fixed, but that default action with the notifications disappearing from the lock screen is infuriating as an Android user. Also, the ability to interact with the notifications, to archive them, do various things from the lock screen, jump into the settings and triage the notifications in a more granular way. There's a lot of things about iOS notifications that I don't particularly love. The next thing, which you guys just kind of saw as I opened the phone, is the iPhone doesn't have a fingerprint sensor. It has Face ID, and that's all, which is, one, annoying when doing a video, because if I'm behind the camera like this, you see it's checking my face. I have to peek out from behind the camera to open it. But not just for video purposes. As we've seen throughout the pandemic, if you're wearing a mask, right? A lot of people still wearing masks, in various settings in various places around the world. Using Face ID, you can't do it, right? You can, of course, type in your code, and they have made it so that the code comes up a little bit faster, the PIN code comes up a little faster. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that having a fingerprint sensor is a lot better. You guys can see I can just jump right into my Galaxy Z Fold 3, the one on the side of the Z Fold 3, very, very fast and easy to use. There's just no reason whatsoever that they couldn't have put an in-display Touch ID in addition to Face ID. I understand having Face Unlock, but the Samsung phones have Face Unlock as well, so there's really no reason that Apple couldn't include both, and it would help a lot of people out, especially, again, with so many people wearing masks. The next thing that's missing, and this has been missing from Apple phones for a long time, Apple made some improvements when it comes to multitasking on the iPad. It's still not as good as Samsung and Android, but they made some improvements. But on the iPhone, you still can't do real multitasking. Sure, you can swipe up down here and go through and find another app and, quickly jump between apps and all that. But I can't do the kind of multitasking that I can do on my Galaxy Z Fold 3. If I open the Galaxy Z Fold 3, right, I can jump into true multitasking. All I got to do is tap up here. I can open in split screen view, open in pop-up view, whatever kind of view I want, right? And then I can grab another app. I can scroll through. I can get all the different apps I want, do all kinds of different multitasking, and even have some, bunch of windows pop up and just kind of move them around. Really take advantage of the real estate. As someone mentioned in the previous video, the Galaxy Z Fold 3 inner screen is a fingerprint magnet. I try to wipe it down before the videos. There's just no way to keep those fingerprint sensors off. I have a microfiber cloth, so I do use it. But anyway, Apple doesn't have any true multitasking where you can do, multiple split screen views, have pop-up windows to move around the phone. And you might not think that that's something you want, but especially if you have if you have the iPhone 13 Pro Max, multitasking makes a lot of sense. And the fact that it's not here is a big downer coming from Android, someone who does multitasking a lot, especially on my big phone like the Galaxy Z Fold 3. I really do miss that. The next thing is another fairly obvious one, if you look at my Galaxy Z Fold 3 here, you'll notice one thing that's not on the iPhone, and the thing that's on my Galaxy Z Fold 3 that's not on the iPhone isn't always on display. You notice my iPhone just completely black, where the Galaxy Z Fold 3 has this nice always on display. I can see the time, I can see my calendar events, see the battery percentage at the bottom, and I can see all my notification icons right there on the lock screen. Now, does this take a little bit of battery life? Sure, but it's a really nice feature, and it's another thing that really takes very little effort to integrate into iOS. And as someone that's coming from Android, it's just another feature that people are really gonna like. Once they get always on display on iOS, the Apple fans who use iPhones only are gonna go crazy having that feature. It's a really nice feature to have. It stops you from having to unlock your phone a million times a day. If you're a busy professional, it's really going to improve kind of your workflow and also maybe how much time you spend on your screen when you're at work. It's a very, very useful feature. The next thing is also a hardware thing. The display doesn't have a notch on most Android phones anymore. You don't have that huge cutout at the top. You notice the Galaxy Z Fold 3 is all display, not only on the cover screen, but also on the inside. Now, they did make the notch a little bit smaller, of course. They did make a smaller notch when it comes to the iPhone. So you do have a smaller notch on the actual top there, but it's still there. I don't think it looks as nice as the full screen display. Of course, you can argue all you want that it doesn't really bother you that much. But if you go and use a full screen display and then you come back and use this, you'll find that it actually is a little bit of an annoyance. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is something that you're going to notice, especially if you've been using a phone that doesn't have a big notch at the top. Next thing, another hardware thing, USB-C charging. Apple, once again, passed up a golden opportunity to move to the USB-C charging standard, and they decided not to do it. There's really no reason for this whatsoever. They moved the iPad mini to USB-C charging and then talked about that during the event, how great USB-C is, and then they didn't do it on the iPhone 13 lineup. Lightning just needs to go away. It needs to die. There's no excuse for this. All the Apple products need to move to USB-C, so it's a better experience for consumers, and it also will allow them perhaps to get some people to move from Android to iOS. Some people might want to do that, but having all these USB-C chargers they have to throw away, that's at least partially a consideration if you're going to move ecosystems. And then the last thing, which is a fairly minor thing, but something I really do like, Samsung devices and most other Android devices these days, you guys can see I already got a little nick on my leather cover on my Galaxy Z Fold 3, have the ability to do reverse charging. So you guys probably know, if you have an Android device, especially if you have a Samsung device, that you can do reverse charging with your phone. And it's a pretty awesome thing, wireless power sharing. If you have your watch, like your Galaxy Watch 4, and it gets low on battery, just go in here, wireless power share, turn this on, go ahead, and you can share it with any other device that you want, especially like your headphones, like your watch. Very convenient. I don't really see any reason why Apple can't enable this, especially since the Apple Watch is so popular. Probably the best smartwatch out there still, even though it's close with the Galaxy Watch 4. They really should consider this feature. It's, again, something that if you move from Android to iOS, that, if you don't get that feature, that kind of keeps people entrenched in the Android ecosystem. So these are just some things. I think there's 7 total things that kind of bother me when I switch from Android to iOS. There are some other things, I'm sure. If you guys have some things that you kind of love about Android that aren't on iOS, let me know in the comments. I'm sure I could think of, 100 things if I sat here all day, but these are the big ones that I think bothered me the most here in using the iPhone 13 Pro for the first 24 to 48 hours. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. I'll have some more content on the iPhone, mainly comparing to some Android devices. Let me know what you guys like to see me compare it to, or any particular comparisons you'd like to see if you're interested in iOS stuff. A lot more Android-specific stuff coming up as well. Of course, we got the Pixel launch, other things coming up. If you guys are interested in Samsung phones, I'm going to drop a link below to the Samsung store. If you guys ever buy any Samsung products, if you can use my link, it really helps out the channel. I do appreciate it. It helps me make more videos and get other products to review. Also, find me over on Twitter. I'll drop my Twitter handle below if you guys want to follow me there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.